I'm just sitting here with my coffee this morning. Okay, my second coffee. Let me just stick it down for a second because I want to chat with you because I just had this overwhelming feeling I needed to share with you all this morning. You know those moments when you're scrolling through the Cara Fitness group and suddenly you get a little bit emotional? That was me at 6 o'clock this morning. I was looking at all of your check-ins, your pictures and comments, you're supporting each other, and it probably hit me. Behind every single one of you incredible women is a story that would absolutely floor me if I knew the whole thing. Now, I put out there on social media this face. I try to be real, but I want to be more real with you. So I thought maybe I'd share a bit of my story first with you. It's not a polished version. It is, the real one. You do get to see a lot of me, but I just want to, I just want to share. But I just think, oh my God, where am I actually going to start? So most of you know, I was a dancer when I was younger. But what I don't talk about much is how that spiraled into a pretty nasty eating disorder. I've just started talking about it recently. I find it quite hard to talk about, but my dancing went from something I absolutely loved to this toxic relationship with my body where nothing was ever good enough. Getting through that was probably one of the toughest things I've done at that time. And some days I do actually still consciously have to remind myself that food, it is fuel and it is not the enemy. That's why I go on about it with you so much as well. And then there's the relationship stuff in my life. Oh my God, maybe you go and grab yourself a coffee because it's a little bit messy. So my first marriage ended in divorce. It was very, very painful. I was very young, but honestly, that was just the warm up. My second marriage, which I never talk about, was a total disaster. I married a narcissist who left me broken, absolutely broken. And the cherry on top, I was around 50,000 in debt that I couldn't even declare bankruptcy for because my business wasn't UK business. It wasn't a UK business at the time. I was abroad with it all, so there were nights I'd lie awake absolutely terrified about how I was going to dig myself out of that hole. Days I'd put on a brave face and then I'd go home and I'd cry. I'd just crying into my pillow. Years and years and years of working myself to the bone, taking on extra work, extra products, anything to just chip away at the mountain of debt someone else had largely built up. And, talk about a dark period. There were moments I genuinely didn't know if I'd ever feel financially secure again or happy or worthy. But you know what? I did it one payment at a time, one day at a time, until that magical moment when I made the final payment. And I can remember staring at my bank account that day. It was an ugly crying day with complete and utter relief. I'd actually got myself out of debt. And in what feels like the universe having a little bit of a sense of humour, I ended up remarrying Larry, my first husband, my children's dad, and honestly, he's the love of my life. We found our way back to each other, older, wiser, and with a few more wrinkles, mostly laughter lines, mostly. Anyway, that's enough about me. Okay, so what actually brings me here today, almost in tears, are those days when I see those stories of you and your stories. And it's those messages you send me privately, the things you share in the group, the casual comments that reveal mountains that you have climbed. Now, I've met women in our community who have kicked cancer's ass and showed up regardless, and they just keep going. They've escaped emotional and physical abuse after decades, and they're finally putting themselves first. Also juggling caring for parents with dementia while raising teenagers and working full time. They're literally superheroes. They've faced unimaginable pain of losing a child and somehow found the strength to keep going. And also, started completely new careers after 50, because why the hell not? I mean, I did it a little bit earlier, but doing it after 50, amazing. And you've begun fitness journeys after years, sometimes decades, of putting everyone else first. You know, when Jane, you know who you are, she just casually mentioned she does her workouts at 5 a.m. because it's the only time her chronic pain is manageable. I had to put my phone down and take a moment. And then Sarah logs in before going to be the primary carer for her unwell mum. I'm just in awe of you. And when Lisa joined us just weeks after losing her husband, it's the courage I can't even comprehend. We're all Wonder Women, even when we don't feel like it. I'm writing this all down and I'm saying it with you today as well, because I want you to remember something important. We all have a story. Some bits are beautiful, some bits are traumatic, and some bits we're still figuring out. But these stories, they don't define us, they've refined us. When you're having one of those days where everything feels impossible, and perhaps menopause brainers, you put in things where they shouldn't be going, and you can't find anything, or you can't remember anything, remember this. In our little community, there's women who have walked through absolute hell and come out of the other side. Women who thought they couldn't possibly keep going, but they found a way. Women who thought their story was over, only to discover it was just beginning a new chapter. That's why I think of us all as Wonder Women, not because we've got it all figured out or because we don't struggle, but precisely because we do struggle and we keep bloody going anyway. Now, if you want to, it's your turn. I found that sharing our stories, or my story, helps others feel less alone. When I finally found the courage to be honest about my struggles instead of pretending everything was perfect, the most amazing thing happened. Other women started sharing too. I went through my life trying to be perfect, so it's about time. It just shows it's best not to be. So I'm just a little bit curious. What is your story? Have you told me your story? What challenges have shaped you, and what wins have you had? Even the little tiny ones that you could be celebrating. What are you facing right now that just feels impossible? You can share here in the comments, or in a private group that we've got, or reflect on it yourself while having a cup of coffee like we are now. Because somewhere another woman might read your words and think, if she made it through that, maybe I can handle today. Now that is the magic of our community. We're lifting each other up, celebrating how strong we actually are, and remembering that every single one of us has a story worth honouring. So no matter what chapter you're currently in, you are a Wonder Woman, and I'm so bloody grateful you are part of my story. Anyway, that's enough of the deep stuff. I need to get on. I've got to sort our workout out, and I don't even know what we're doing yet. So I just want to say, if you want to share, go on, just share. I'm nosy. We're all nosy, and I just can't wait to hear from you. So I love you all to bits. And I just want to say to you, just have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you soon.